Dungeons & Drimbus is rated R for rude language, rough violence, and raunchy humor.
I do declare, here's what happened previously on Dungeons & Drimbus. The attorneys prepare to head out toward the big meeting. Viper confesses her feelings and says goodbye to Terry, with a slight stoning in between. And on the ride, Bob feels Hagatha calling out to her. But they journey on without issue, until they see some dark figures looming in the distance. Abominations, and not just any abominations. As they fight, they come face to face with an abomination beholder. I do declare, Herrera is back in session.
All of you on the sled, you feel this field almost wash over you. Jessica, you were still finishing casting that last bit of healing, and you feel your connection to the source of magic break. Thomas, you see Bahamut just get sucked back into you.
What's happening?
Oh no.
Thomas?
What?
The Abomination Beholder is going to bite you.
What? No, don't do that.
Does a 17 hit?
Yeah.
You take 8 points of damage as it bites on.
Ow!
Once again, all of you take 2 points of necrotic damage. As it is now above you on the sled, you see this giant creature has bit onto Thomas's top half. So you just see his torso still on the sled with this giant creature almost trying to swallow him whole.
Oh my god.
Do something!
That is going to be its turn. Grisabeth is going to go, oh my god, what the hell is that? No, 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 no! And she is going to cast Hunter's Mark. Oh, fuck. You see, she actually holds out a hand. She goes, no! And nothing happens. Oh, fuck me! Oh, fuck. Oh, Mr. Mogbile. Okay. Grisabeth grabs the crossbow from you, Barbara, and goes, borrowing this
Saw you.
is going to fire off a shot. It lands, and you see the bolt lodges itself inside of the creature and buries itself in there, but it barely even shrugs. She goes, okay, I think its eye is doing something. I feel funny when I step in and out of here. Should we get off the sled?
No!
Okay, I'll stay. It is then Monique's turn. All of you, as a new round starts, you again feel that necrosis leech into you as you take 12 points of necrotic damage this time.
Oh no.
And Jessica falls beneath 0 hit points again, and is gone.
Okay, you see Jessica once again passes out.
Wait, God, because Viper has taken damage, I must make a concentration check really quick.
Okay.
And I get a 9, which is a failure, so the abomination returns to normal size.
Yeah, you see this energy radiate out from the small abomination, almost like it wants to hit you most of all, Viper. And as it hits you, you get blown back just a bit as you feel sick, almost like you're gonna puke. And then you see the abomination grow back up to size. Still only at about half size, as it is still looking in bad shape, but it is now bigger.
Damn it.
Tony Popcorn, you do your thing. And she kind of pulls up on the reins. You see Tony and Popcorn go, brrr, and she goes, oh, okay, everybody hang on.
Oh.
And you see Tony and Popcorn activate their magic and begin to go vertical to try and give you a vantage point on all of the monsters. So all of you, please roll a dexterity saving throw to hold on to the sled.
Okay.
Barb would like to hold on to Jess so that she doesn't fall off of the sled
Okay,
as well.
Barbara, roll with disadvantage.
Oh no.
All of you, because you've been warned, I'll give you advantage. So, Barbara, actually roll flat instead of disadvantage. Everyone else roll with advantage.
21 for Barbara and Jessica.
dirty 20.
Tom's got 19.
25.
Okay, you all manage to grab onto like the seats as you shift from standing on the sled to like standing on the backs of the seats. You see Jessica, who was like towards the front of the sled, as it goes vertical, begins to go rolling off. And as she begins to fall out, suddenly, Barbara, you shoot out a hand and grab her by the ankle,
There we go.
pulling her back up onto the seat. Monique, who was previously holding onto the reins at that kind of standing chair, she shifts with the gravity, positions herself, and then swan dives off of the sled down onto the abomination beholder with the pen daggers drawn.
Nice.
Stabs into the front of the beholder, basically. And it manages to let go of Thomas just enough that you hear a scream from inside its mouth.
Thank God.
Excuse me, thank Bahamut.
Thank Bahamut.
It takes damage. Monique holds on to it. And then you see she goes, "Why don't you just leave us alone?" And then you see this fire kind of course through her veins into the pen daggers and gets pumped into the creature. And it takes 18 points of damage as it lights a flame. Monique is now on it. She is like kind of floating away from the sled atop it. Gary, it is then your turn.
Gary's gonna leap and help her tackle and stab this thing.
All right, roll that.
18.
That just barely hits.
Gary leaps from where the front seat is onto the beholder with the rapier stabbing through the beholder to do 22 damage.
At this point, you are then going to see the stalks begin to move around and try and focus people. One of the small stalks is going to turn around to look at you, Gary. Please make a wisdom saving throw.
16.
Oh, you see the stalk look at you, and you feel this energy wash over you. You feel hesitation. Your hand trembles on the rapier, but you strengthen your resolve and twist it within the eye, having worked off whatever effect it seemed to be attempting on you. Thomas, it is your turn.
I'll jump on the beholder with my shadow blade.
Yeah, we should weigh this thing down.
Let's do it. Here we go.
Yeah. You leap off and you hold your hand out, waiting for the energy to come from your book and form around your hand into your blade, and you feel nothing. And in your head, you hear Bahamut say,
"It's I. It causes a cone where you cannot use magic. Position yourself behind it and you should be able to cast spells."
and you manage to land atop it.
Great. Can I wrap my hand around the part that it can't see that and then stab the back of his head?
I would let you attempt it if you roll your attack with disadvantage.
Deal.
All right.
14.
Bahamut says,
Also, just as a heads up, I can do a lot of things that you're not taking advantage of.
but with the 14, you summon Shadowblade, go to stab into it, and then your hand kind of enters the field of the cone, and you see the magic dissipate as it enters, so you just kind of punch it.
Yeah. Takes 1 damage.
Viper, it is then your turn.
Since everyone is getting on this thing, I'm going to jump on and use sneak attack because my allies are within 5 feet of me. I will get advantage, which gives me sneak attack.
Go for it.
Alrighty. First dagger is a 24. Second one is a 20 to hit.
Okay, those both hit. Roll damage and describe how you attack this.
Viper leaps off of the sled with both daggers in hand, heading for the side of the beholder that currently is unoccupied. Brings her dagger into it, and because her allies are around her, she gets advantage on this attack and deals 8 initial piercing and 28 sneak attack damage. And then she brings in her other dagger, which deals 8 additional piercing.
As the jaw opens wide, you see these shadowy teeth protruding out of it. As with every stab, this energy kind of floats away from it up into the air, into the atmosphere. At this point, one of the eye stalks is going to crawl around and look to you, Viper.
All right.
Make a dexterity saving throw.
I don't like the way you gasped. 29.
You see the stalk gaze upon you, and this beam shoots out. And as you hold up your dagger, you pull it out of its flesh. You see the beam makes contact with the dagger, and you begin to see some of the metal disintegrate and just blow away.
No.
And you see some of that begin to happen to the leather on your glove. But it kind of stops there as from the pain, the beam shoots up and into the air and is not able to properly harm you. And then it is the Abomination's turn. Barbara, you grab Jessica, pull her up, and as you do, you see the Abomination that had previously stared at Jessica just kind of continues staring up and tracking Jessica. And then it is going to turn its gaze on you, Barbara.
Go.
Please roll a Constitution saving throw.
Here I was thinking that, they're not going to hurt me because Haggy wants me alive. But you know what? Fine. Constitution save, that's a 20.
Barbara, as it locks eyes with you, you feel your essence almost beckoned to it. However, you pull yourself away and you take 23 points of psychic damage.
Oof, that's stupid.
Yes. And you find inside of your head, you are just torn with conflicting images as you are stunned by this. It is then Tiny Abomination's turn.
Not so tiny anymore.
It is gonna run up to the first Abomination, and you see it is almost gonna climb on it and then grasp onto the Beholder and begin to climb up the back of it.
Oh, God.
And Thomas, being the low-hanging fruit, it is going to claw at you.
Hey, my fruit are fine.
Does a 10 hit you, Thomas?
No, it doesn't hit me.
You feel a claw snatch onto the edge of your new coat that Gary gave you at Hot Apothecary, and it yanks at you. And as you turn back, you see the Abomination has missed. It is now dangling off the ground atop the Beholder, and it glares at you. Please make a wisdom saving throw.
14.
So you only take half as much damage as it glares, and you see some of that smoke like almost ooze off and try and enter your being, dealing 13 necrotic damage. And you feel a slight sense of panic for just a second. Bahamut says,
Do not worry, I am here.
and the panic dissipates as you are not frightened. But this Abomination is kind of dangling and clawing at you, as it is then Barbara's turn.
I'm gonna keep fighting, I guess. Barbara's gonna, once again, look at Grisbeth, borrowing this.
Oh, God, get your own, slut. And she hands it
I was
over.
supposed to have one of my own, but here we are. I'm rolling. I'm gonna shoot Tiny. 26 to hit.
Okay, that hits.
23 to hit.
That hits.
27 to hit.
That hits.
29 to hit.
Awesome.
And it is 47 damage to little tiny Tim.
We see the crossbow bolts go flying down at Tiny again. As it takes the first hit, it begins to run, trying to go for cover. Gets skewered through the shoulder, turns to run the other direction, gets skewered again, and one more time. As you see its body split in half of the smoke emanating away, and now there are just two beefy clawed arms and head dragging itself through the sand, as it is looking in terrible, terrible shape. Jessica, please give me a death saving throw.
Certainly, God. It's a 13.
That's a success. So we see Jessica kind of twitching on the seat, blood running out of her mouth. We see like a hiccup as one success is marked. Then at the end of Barbara's turn, one of the eyes is going to stalk around and try to look at Thomas.
Don't look at me.
Thomas, please make a dexterity saving throw.
12.
Thomas,
Oh, shit.
Thomas dies.
you see an eye stalk creep up and around the body of the Beholder, look down at you, and as it gazes into you, this flash of white shoots out. And the rest of you, as you hear the beam, you look over your shoulders to look down at Thomas, who had the Abomination clawing at him, and you just see stone, as Thomas has been petrified.
Nice.
That's my move. Fuck off.
Do I fall down?
Because you were gripped onto it, you have turned to a statue with the flesh gripped in your stone fist.
So I'm not gonna shatter. That's good.
Seeing that Barbara has been pretty effectively handling some of the abominations, it is going to try and bite you. Does a 9 hit?
No fucking loser.
It opens its jaws and goes flying at the sled, and you hear Grisabeth go, "Oh God!" as it comes down on Barbara. However, with the newfound weight of Stone Thomas, it doesn't quite balance right and just smashes the front of its face into the golden sled, shaking all of you. Grisabeth, Barbara, and Jessica, please give me dexterity saving throws again to stay aboard the sled.
Fuck.
I assume Jessica cannot.
No, so Barbara can do one with disadvantage if she would like to hold on to you.
Yeah, I mean, I would.
God.
17.
Okay, you manage to, as you get bucked off, kind of like throw yourself down atop Jess, and you slide off of the seat so you're dangling, but you manage to hold on so you do not fall.
Okay.
And then Grisabeth is gonna say, "Oh, take this, bitch!" And you see she's gonna go, "Borrowing this!" And you've dropped the crossbow, it's falling. She like hooks her feet on the seat and like lays flat down so that she's dangling, but her feet are holding her onto the sled. Grabs the crossbow before it manages to plummet to the ground, brings it up, and is going to shoot at the underside of the abomination. That lands. She deals 10, and because it is larger in size, gets an extra 4 damage with one of her feet. She deals 14 damage. It flies in, dealing less, you suspect, but still a sizable amount. She goes, "Oh, I'm not done. I'm learning from Barbara." And you see she loads another bolt quickly.
Queen shit, bitch.
And unfortunately misses with the other one as she loads the crossbow in, but then it jams as she didn't quite place it in right. She goes, "Ah, damn it." And like punches it back into place. Goes, "Okay, I'm ready for my next turn." Then it is Tony and Popcorn's turn, and they are gonna see the big boy abomination that is looking bad, but maybe has not been harassed as much as it should have been. And they are going to finish making the turn and come barreling down at it with all of their might at once. Meg is just kind of like holding on to them, 2 hooves on each, so she's kind of like,
Oh my
she
God.
looks like she's gliding, like parachuting, because she cannot fly, but she's there.
I'm going for a splatter kill here.
I mean,
I am going for a splatter kill.
Jesus Christ, we're gonna crash.
You see they come flying down, hooves first. You guys feel the sled like twist as they spiral down straight at it together, hooves glowing, battering it for 23 points of damage. You see the abomination gets caught on the hooves, pile driver like straight through the sand, just you see sand flying up everywhere, covering Jessica, Barbara, and Grisabeth, until finally they are going with such force that he actually flips over them like someone on a train and just and lands flat inside of the sled betwixt the 3 of you. Totally battered. Then it is Monique's turn. Monique is atop the beholder and she says, "You know what? We got to deal with this thing. Otherwise, they're not going to be able to cast any of their spells." Ooh, she critical fails as she goes to stab in one of the pen daggers and gets bitten. And the dagger falls into the creature's open mouth. She goes, "No!" And brings the other one down. And same thing happens. And this time her arm actually properly gets chopped.
Oh God.
Dealing 13 damage to Monique. Ah! As you see the black teeth dig into her flesh.
Jesus.
Next up is Gary.
Can I cut off stalks of this thing?
You can try.
You will try.
However, as this thought comes around, we see one of the eye stalks creep up and
God.
glare at Monique since she is pinned in place.
Fuck.
Ooh, she just barely saves. As you see the eye shoots out another beam. She goes, "Is anybody else tired?" No, wake up. She starts slapping herself. And you see she almost falls asleep, but does not. Gary, it is your turn.
All right, I'm gonna try cut off stalks.
Okay.
21.
Okay, that definitely hits.
And a critical fail.
Okay, roll a d10 and then roll your damage for the first attack.
A D10, so that's 7. And then my damage for the first attack, 13.
Okay, you see that stalk that focuses Monique. You come running up with the rapier. You bring it out and like a musketeer just kind of... And you cut the stalk right off. You see the energy dissipate, go flying away as you deal 13 damage. However, as you cut it off, you see the smoke kind of reforms into a slightly smaller beholder, but regenerates the eye stalk. And as it does so, you go for another attack. Critical fail. You wind back at the wrong moment, and the beholder bucks and sends you flying to the ground. And you crash, taking...
Can I use a reaction to break my fall?
Sure.
The Ostragon book.
Yep, absolutely.
As I'm falling, like head first, falling backwards, I reach into my back pocket, pull out the book, and then you just see him like warp, like, and then onto the sled.
And by the grace of Ostragon, you find yourself atop the sled next to the abomination that has just tumbled onto it. And Tony goes, okay, Viper, it is your turn. You've just seen Gary fall off. And then just...
All right, well, since Monique is still on there, I still have sneak attack for one of my attacks, and I'm going to try 2 daggers, once again, still being atop it.
Go for it.
First attack is a 22.
Okay.
Second attack is a 17.
First one hits.
As I see Monique lose her pen daggers into the maw of this beholder, I lift up my dagger and I bring it in hard with my dominant hand, my right hand, and it deals 19 damage in total with the piercing and the sneak attack. And as it gets lodged in there, the creature screams and kind of moves around a little bit, so that as I reach up with my second dagger, I don't get as much force to bring it downward into it, and it bounces off of it.
And the roars are getting smaller and smaller as it has become just a fraction of what it once was. Thomas is there petrified, but between him, you, and Monique, there is basically no space left on this creature for anyone else to ride. Thomas, it is your turn. Please roll a dexterity saving throw.
15.
Don't love that.
I'm dead.
Thomas remains frozen in stone as the battle ensues, and we cut back onto the sled as the abomination begins to stand back up. Everyone takes 4 necrotic damage as you feel that energy pulse out through you again. Ugh!
How do we rule that with me?
That counts as a failure for your death saving throw, Jessica.
Okay.
As the abomination begins to sit up, it looks around, it sees Gary, Grisabeth, Barbara, and Jessica, and crawls over to Jessica's unconscious body.
Yes.
No.
Take me.
It takes Jessica's throat in its grip and begins to squeeze. Her chin tilted to meet its, and it seems to gaze upon her from its featureless face. And Barbara, everyone aboard for that matter, you could swear you see a claw caress Jessica's face. And it is going to turn and leap at the tiny abomination.
What?
Wait, hold on. Wait, this is crazy. This is crazy because what if that means that whoever became the abomination knows Jessica from before?
It rolls a natural 20, I shit you not. It rolls a natural 20. Man, I hate to take this from you guys, but...
No, like, take it.
Feel free.
And as it leaps off the sled, rolls a natural 20, brings both claws over its head, and slams down onto the tiny abomination. One claw digging into each shoulder and ripping it in two. As you see the smoke dissipate and it flings the remains and you see the energy evaporate up into the atmosphere. As it then turns and sets its sights upon the beholder.
What the fuck just happened?
Fuck is happening?
Barbara, it is your turn.
What is going on? I'm so...
Why did it...
Barbara's gonna just be like, do I hit? Do I...
Grisabeth points up at the beholder and goes, kill that so I can do some fucking healing, please.
Yep, that's fair. So I still have my handy dandy scimitar. I'm gonna hit with that.
Okay.
That is a not natural 20.
Okay, that hits. How many attacks are you doing?
You already know it's gonna be a bajillion.
All right, roll them all.
22, 23, and a 19.
They all hit.
Hot. Okay. Barbara seeing Jess almost get strangled, but then not get strangled, and then see the hands just start heading over to the beholder, is going to take a note out of Grisabeth's book and is going to move her way from Jessica and head to the beholder and just start slashing at it with her scimitar. She attacks 4 times, and it is 12 points of damage.
You see the beholder, having been weighed down by this statue, having become smaller in size, has begun to sag in the air and is wanting to keep its focus on the sled. So it turns around, kind of aims it at you, and is chasing behind you like a dinosaur chasing a car. And Barbara runs to the back of the sled, pulls out the scimitar, and begins to slash. It is now looking very, very, very bad.
Ooh.
And one of the eye stalks is going to come around and try to look at you, Barbara.
Good luck, my eyes are closed.
Please roll a wisdom saving throw.
Oop, that's a 21.
Okay, you see this beam shoot out, and you feel no effect, as you almost laugh at it.
I do laugh at it.
Jessica, please roll a death saving throw.
You see Jessica in the throes of fighting for her life as mentally she rolls a dice inside her head. And that dice comes back as an 18. And Jessica mentally marks another success against the icy clutches of death.
We all see the thrashing become slightly less violent as Jessica spasms in the sled. Then an eye stalk is going to creep around and look at Gary. Gary, please roll a really good dex saving throw.
All right, I have advantage on dex saving throws. Didn't fucking matter. It's a 12.
Okay, Gary, the eye gazes at you, and you see this beam come out. It is this black light, so it's not even light, it absorbs light around it, creating this pitch black beam, and you take 63 necrotic damage. It is then Grisabeth's turn. She goes, "Oh no, Mr. Mogbile, are you okay?"
Fine.
All right, let's fuck this bitch up. And she is gonna load the crossbow. Woo! 30 to hit.
Woo!
And Grisabeth launches a bolt right into the stalk that shot her husband. And you see it rip through it and kind of tear it in half. Of course, it then reforms, but you see the beholder become slightly smaller in mass as that happens. It is looking so much worse for wear. In fact, it is losing so much mass that you all begin to see the Thomas statue slowly begin to slip lower and lower as it has less mass to hold on to.
Tony Popcorn, can you bring us around, please?
It is then Tony and Popcorn's turn. Tony goes, and they're gonna bring it around. The sled kind of like skids in the sand. And you see the abomination hooks an arm onto the back of the sled and is now holding onto it like a water skier. Tony and Popcorn bring it around such that the sled is there for Thomas to plop into if he were to fall. And you see the abomination climb up onto the sled and begin to extend a hand up as if to grab onto the beholder. It is then Monique's turn. Monique is going to go, "Oh my God, please, I just want to be done with it." Now that the sled is technically below and behind the abomination, she is going to jump off of the abomination. She's going to move onto the sled, go, "Oh, hi. Oh my God, Jess. Sorry, that sucks." And going to look up, and she is going to cast Hellish Rebuke once more on the beholder now that she can get behind it, dealing 19 points of damage as it lights a flame. You see there is almost nothing left, as in fact, you begin to be able to see through the beholder as you get the feeling its inside is hollow. It flashes, it shrinks. Thomas falls onto the sled, pinning the unconscious Jessica. We just hear, Viper, you are the only one left atop this thing as it is nearing death. However, it is then Gary's turn.
Gary's gonna pounce on it with the rapier.
Do it.
Okay, first attack is a 15.
That does not hit. You swing the rapier up and it dodges out of the way.
Hey, watch it!
A 29 will hit.
Roll for damage.
He's gonna jump up and pounce on the beholder with his rapier, stab it for a little 7 damage.
Gary. You stab up, first miss the beholder, it dodges, bring the rapier in, you take your clawed hand, stab into the beholder, lift yourself up, and slice your rapier straight through the middle of what's left. you see it all dissipate away as it seemingly dies. However, Viper, as you go to fall out of the air, you find you are still holding on to one little stalk of what remains of the beholder. Viper, it is your turn. Don't even roll, just describe how you kill the remaining stalk with 1 HP.
The stalk is like flying around fleetingly, and I'm like, oh, fuck. Like her feet are like dangling in the air, and she's holding on by one now because the other dagger had fallen out because the matter is dissipated. And she's going to like look below and make sure that the sled is still below her and say like, watch out below, and bring out the other dagger up, stab it into what remains, and prepare to descend into the sled.
Okay, Thomas, roll a dexterity saving throw.
Oh, 7.
Okay, you remain in stone. As everyone else, you take 15 points of necrotic damage.
Jessica marks another failure.
Oh, fuck. Viper drops down and is like, whew, okay. And she turns to Jessica and puts a hand on her and casts Healing Word at 2nd level. And she regains, that's a shit roll, she regains 5 hit points.
And Jessica, you awaken.
I'm sorry.
You see Viper staring down at you. There is a giant stone statue that looks like Thomas holding you in place.
Oh, hi.
And behind Viper, looming above you, you see an abomination.
Ah.
It reaches down a clawed hand, puts it on Thomas's stone head, and stands the statue up, freeing you. And you see the energy dissipate as it disappears.
The abomination disappears?
Yes.
God, I would like to attempt something. I have no idea if it's going to work, but I would like to try something. So, theoretically, the spell Gaseous Form does not say that it doesn't work on petrified creatures. And there's no saving throw. In order to do it, the creature just has to be willing. Is Thomas aware?
You do not know.
Okay, I would like to stand in front of the statue and say, Thomas, if you can hear me, I'm going to try to help you, okay? So if you feel some sort of magical energy, I need you to try to let it happen, okay?
Can I hear her?
Thomas, you hear very muffled. You hear like a...
Oh, great. Okay.
Okay, and I would like to cast Gaseous Form to transform him from petrified to a gas, to then theoretically drop the spell, and he'll be there.
Roll an Arcana check.
That is a 18.
Viper, you put your hands on the stone statue of Thomas. You feel there's some energy trapped within. You feel the power of Bahamut radiating. And as you begin to cast a spell, you all see Thomas's statue begin to slowly turn into mist. Monique goes, wait, what are you doing? What are you doing? We need him.
No,
And
I know. Don't worry. It's to turn him into something else so I can turn him back.
well, that's not good. We need him as a person.
I know,
And you
it'll
just see...
take, like...
He turns into this, like, gaseous shape, and then the gaseous shape bursts forth in the shape of Bahamut.
Oh, fuck, I hated that. Oh, no. Never again.
Never again to the petrification or to what I just
To
did?
the petrification, yes.
Okay, all right, okay. Well,
Thomas, are you all right?
Yes, I'm all right.
it's a concentration spell, so I'm going to try to then drop Gaseous Form to theoretically return him to normal.
And you do so.
Does it work?
It does.
Oh my god.
I had it under control the whole time.
I'm sure you did. Oh, fuck. Oh, did Monique's pen daggers fall out of the beholder when it disappeared?
I don't know. Hold up. Let me roll an investigation check. Monique goes, oh, found him. Thank God. Oh, I found a third one. My roll was so good.
As the abomination dissipates, can Jessica roll like an Arcana check to see if she can, like, I don't know, recognize it?
Sure.
Jessica got a 27 on her Arcana check.
Damn.
Jessica, you can't figure out why this happened.
Okay.
But in your dream, in your death-like trance, when you dreamt of that caress, you felt a warmth and an energy that seems so unmistakably familiar to you.
Oh no.
And you could have sworn for just a second, when you wanted to let go, when you wanted to just die, you felt Frank calling you back.
Jessica's very quiet, just kind of sitting there. She's gonna bring her knees kind of towards her chest and just sit there and like kind of stare off into the middle distance, kind of eyes glazed over. Not much health, still kind of worse for wear, and just like, oh boy, oh boy.
Bob, seeing that, would like to go over to Jess and just check on her, also considering that she like died twice. You know, but hey, I'm sure that was a lot, but I thought I lost you there for a second or two. Are you good?
I am here. I don't, that's always the question, is it? Am I good? Am I a good person?
Okay, no, we're not gonna, no, shh, we're not gonna do that. We're not gonna unpack that one. Not that one. Just, are you gonna be okay?
I'm Jessica fucking Feltcher. I'll be okay.
But she's still kind of just staring into that middle distance.
That was metal as fuck.
We're halfway there. This is the halftime ad with Daddy G.
Okay, Scruffles. This is it. You know, between all the high-stakes Your Honor drama and those increasingly creepy caller suggestions, and obviously the whole Nikki situation, I've been feeling a little melancholic. We so often don't realize what we have until it's halfway gone. If you're lucky. So, at tonight's big mischief game, played with the playtest materials available at patreon.com/Drimbus, I think I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna stop letting life happen to me, and I'm gonna take charge for once. Nikki was always so good at that. After tonight's game, I'm gonna ask this lovely gal I've been going on dates with if she'd like to go steady with me. I know. Thanks, Scruffles. And thanks, Scruffass. And, of course, thank you, Scrufflets. Gads, you're right! I've been so concerned with my personal bullshit that I completely forgot to actually prep a mischief session! Oh, crap! Oh, what do I do? I know mischief was designed to be low prep, but I've got 10 minutes to come up with something! That's it. The Not-So-Daily Drimbus! With the help of this once-a-week newsletter from the Drimbus team filled with updates on the show, stat blocks, magic items, and adventure prompts, I can whip something up in no time. Here we are. The Great Severed One! Yeah. You know, this gal and her friends have been really loving Severance, and this is a great chance to slide something like it into our game. Ooh, and they recently sent out stats for Saxon Brunt, as seen in Your Honor. He'll make a cool, boss-type guy. Okay, I can work with this. And to think all of this is free at drimbus.com/newsletter. Oh, it turns out I had a lot less than 10 minutes. Oh, we're gonna have to wing this one, Scruffs. Good thing Mischief makes it real easy to whip things up on the fly. Okay. Hello. A pleasure as always to see you, Miss D.
Please, call me Gaddy. Gaddy D.
Sure thing, Miss Gaddy. Oh, and I think I see the rest of the party rolling up now. Yeah. Behind that car. Yeah, okay, thank you. Hey, guys. Hey, here come Jerry Benetatos, Queso Loco, Greta Beignet, Alex Escapes My Ass, Ace Andrews, Regina Russell is crawling out of the trunk. So are Sam Olivos, Jordan Cobb, The Unnamed Rogue, MB Star, Doubtful Guest, and Michael Richter's in one trunk. Oh, new car.
There's Davis Walden, Denny Dewdrop, Myth Mouse sitting on their lap with Callie Wolf stacked onto their lap even smaller. Brandon and Bishop is there. Bridge, Twiglets. I think I see Joanna sitting on the floor of the car. Stan Sitzman is tied to the roof. Scrambles the Death Dealer is on top of them. Aaron Adams is covering the entire back window. People are in this trunk too. Nathan Mesner, Ruth Thanatos, Melissa Rain. Sensational. Butts Aplenty is just bouncing along on their derriere down the road. Immediately followed by normally me, Dane Kohlhoff, and Loon in a full-out sprint. Ooh, nice. Here comes Faust, the heavenly demonic monster on a scooter. And what's this? He's opening the compartment under the seat. And there's David Carlton. Tracy Baby was hiding under the scooter? And, stacked on a unicycle or elastic band, Hoodie Gang Sheep, Luke Vermin, MV Carr, Vico Cocorico, Lissa Barron, and Jan. And, of course, Jan is leading the Scottish alpaca by a rope. And, here comes our new friend, Kiara Bouye. Glad you could make it to the session. Initiative is gonna get a little tricky, but thankfully Mischief takes care of that because it's kind of free. Just come in, guys. Get some snacks.
I'm Jessica fucking Feltcher. I'll be okay.
But she's still kind of just staring into that middle distance.
Those medals suck.
And as you say that, you feel yourself become slightly more okay as you realize there's a small goblin hand on your shoulder, and Grisabeth heals you for 11 points.
Oh.
Okay, so Abomination Dragon, Abomination Beholder, that's great. What else can we expect when we get there?
Yeah, I mean, clearly they got a head start on whatever's going on, where we're headed. First of all, how's everyone doing? Because I'm not feeling too hot.
Objectively, as far as, the damage I've taken, I could have been a lot worse, but
I feel great.
I'm glad you do, Thomas. I'm really glad. What the fuck just happened with that abomination? It just disappeared.
Pardon my French, but that shadow looked like it had blowjob eyes for Jessica. I don't know why it developed an accent. That was a little weird.
Gary and Jessica, Barbara, what you guys know about abominations? Are they created from, completely or...
The abominations are an amalgamation of different pieces of spirits, souls, energies, whatever you want to call it.
Right.
Amalgamated into this weapon, this device, this being of destruction. But all those pieces mean that I guess potentially there is a layer, a part, however small, might have some sort of, not sentience, but a certain level of awareness.
Remnants, perhaps. Very interesting. Where did it go?
Back from wherever it was pulled into this realm from, I suppose.
And at this, Thomas, do you hear?
Yes, this is what I warned you of. The realm between realms, the river of souls, it's been corrupted. Those dark masses of energy, that is where they are pulling them from. I believe when we dissipate them, they are then freed and return to the great cycle of energy.
What do you suggest, Bahamut?
I suggest we put an end to the summoning of these things. It's not natural.
I agree. Let's do that. Let's do it quick, too.
Yes, maybe in the next hour or so.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so, what do we think? We gotta keep going. Are we sticking to the main roads? Do we want to hide? What's the...
I think maybe, should we inform? And Viper lifts the, stone necklace. Should we inform them?
Yeah, go ahead and inform them. I think, unfortunately, we have to go on the quickest path, if that means the main road. That's the only way we're going to get there in time.
I agree. I think we just rest up as much as we can, and we'll make do with whatever comes our way. Obviously, we'll try and hide from them, or we'll be more vigilant now that we know they're out there, right?
Right. So, 2 least damaged people, I guess, are going to drive for now.
Right. I'm feeling pretty good. Objectively, if I were to put it into words, I'd say I lost a quarter of my health.
Okay.
I could use a snooze. I think I'm a little under half. I lost about 2/3.
Yes, all right. You sleep. Jessica, straight to bed, I'd say.
Thank you.
Yeah, I can stay up. I'm good.
All right. Me and you, Barbara, for the first part?
Sure.
All right. Hello, can you hear me? And Viper's gonna speak into the stone.
Yeah, this is Levi.
All right, we've been ambushed. We're all okay, but those creatures, those amalgamations we warned you of, it seems that they've also been able to apprehend a beholder for such deeds.
Oh, shit. Okay. Any new insights that would be helpful to us?
It seems as though these amalgamations of souls and particles of people may have remnants of the souls they were before. There was an interesting interference in the last abomination. It seemed to recognize Jessica in some capacity and did not attack.
Interesting.
Incredibly.
I don't think it's particularly useful to us right at this moment, but we'll keep it in mind. How are you all faring? Are any of you showing signs of illness?
Should we make a check? Or are we good?
As you ask that, you kind of become aware, as you're all kind of really taking stock of how you feel, you might be being hypochondriacs. It might be because you just got in a nasty fight, but some of you are feeling pretty icky. You did just kind of get the shit kicked out of you.
Difficult to say. Unsure whether these symptoms are fatigue after a hard battle with near death, or if we're feeling symptoms of the illness.
All right, stay safe out there. Please keep us updated.
All right, will do. Stay safe.
All right. Okay, we heading out?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, so those of you who are resting, you may long rest. Viper and Barbara, who's going to be navigating?
At least for the first part, Viper will take the reins for a bit.
Okay, then roll stealth checks with advantage, please.
I cast Pass Without Trace, which gives me an additional +10 to stealth. My roll is 37.
Great.
So as we begin to move, I begin to close my eyes and kind of meditate a bit and focus into myself. And suddenly, Barbara, you see this shadow force come from out of me. And at first, you might be like, oh fuck, this looks like creepy, dark shit. But as it passes through, you notice that the tracks that the sled leaves begin to disappear, and that we can see just fine, and it seems almost to be like an iridescent cloud has enraptured us.
So you do that, and the day goes on, and sure enough, you begin to see more squads of abominations, typically moving in groups ranging from 2 to 5, and sometimes carrying items with them. However, thanks to your Pass Without Trace and your vigilant eye, you always manage to kind of steer clear of them just long enough before you get back on the main road. But you continue to see them throughout the day.
Does it look like when we pass these groups that they're headed for the same place, or are they just
Not always. They're sometimes coming, they're sometimes going. It's pretty varied, but you do see quite a few of them, especially as you get closer and closer to the Heartland.
Okay.
Thomas, as you awake eventually a few hours later and look out as you guys are avoiding one group of abominations, your mind in particular flashes back to picking up Maria. The devastation a single abomination had wrought on a town full of reclaimers. With just a glance at these horrid beasts, you know that any small towns in their paths would not stand a chance.
After a certain point, Viper will need to rest, and Pass Without Trace only lasts that long if she's awake, so once she has to go to sleep, we'll have to make another check.
Okay. Well, sure enough, as you ride on, eventually the sun begins to set. And Viper, as you are preparing to retire, everyone else has woken and has basically slept on and off throughout the day. You notice that the sand around you has shifted to snow, painting the now less hillier portion of the desert white as you distantly round the bend of a large, beautiful lake. In the distance, you can spot the first trees as the solstice becomes the heartland. Mount Heartland looming in the distance. Eventually, you hear a sound rip through the sky, like a roar. Only, you swear you hear a word on the wind. Barbara, you recognize this word as you hear...
Oh.
My baby.
Suddenly, the moonlight goes dark as a massive shadow spreads over your sled. High in the sky, soaring quickly past you, is a body with lion-like rear legs, taloned front legs, and large green wings.
What the fuck is that?
Jessica, you awaken to the shout of Hungry.
Oh my goodness, it's my baby.
What?
So, like, when you say your baby, how long has it been since you've been in contact with
It's
this
been a
creature?
long
time. Like a long, like I don't.
I'm excited to see him, but also very frightened.
Yep. How do we,
I guess I could cast my spell once more and just stay up for a bit longer.
No. You should definitely rest. You should definitely rest.
Well, we gotta get to the Spires, so you can just rest and we'll drive this thing there.
All right. She'll, like, look up at the sky once more and be like, well, here's to hoping we don't get caught. And she'll go to bed.
So, did that thing see us? Is it friendly?
He was once.
Once upon a time it might have been, but I think it's been away from me too long, and let's not risk it right now.
Okay. Is Hungy an inside joke between you guys, or is it just...
So when we first met him, he was a little baby, and we adopted him on the way back from a mission for Hagatha, and I had to do a lot of dice rolls to try to, like, animal handling checks and taming and things to try to, like, make him mine, and like I had to go find food. I had to, like, try to train him, and then whenever he was hungry, he would say "Hungry, hungry."
Okay.
But his name's Gragan.
Okay. So it looks like it could help us, but you don't know if you can control it.
Yeah, especially because, like, we left it with Auntie Hagatha when we went on the mission after that. So my assumption is that he has been retrained in a way.
Yeah, let's not risk it. I'm gonna just get us to the Spire as stealthily as I can.
Thanks, Gary. Jessica will roll an investigation check just to see if there is, like, any kind of pattern.
Sure.
25.
Okay. Well, it seems to fly pretty straight on, almost like it's dead set for Mount Heartland. And as it recedes into the distance, you could almost swear
No.
atop it
No.
sits a small shape.
No!
A rider, most likely,
No!
clad in purple.
The Scoey.
But with that, you all switch guards and sleep somewhat uneasily throughout the night, with the knowledge of what looms somewhere in the skies of Ulmericia. Gary, please roll a stealth check with advantage.
Ooh, natural 20.
Woo!
Very, very nice. You manage to navigate deftly, avoiding all of the abominations, and there are different shapes and sizes, so you see usually a couple of normal abominations, but every now and then you'll see some strange-shaped beast in the group with them. But they become more numerous as eventually the sun begins to rise on the next day. It is still early morning. There's just barely hints of light seeping in through the darkness of the previous night. And Thomas, you awaken with a jerk from Bahamut as he moves your body and lifts you, and he goes,
What's that?
What?
Over there.
Over where?
Thomas, Bahamut yanks you from your trance,
Hey!
and you look off the side of the sled. Just off the road, you see a town raised. Buildings smolder as smoke rises high into the sky. Again, your mind flashes to Smalton, where you found Maria and Billy in the wreckage.
We must do something.
What do you suggest? Go over there?
Perhaps there are survivors.
Okay. Now?
Yes.
Gary, look at that! Up front, Grisabeth also points to the smoke rising high in the sky.
Okay, I think we should go over there and see if we need to help anyone.
A decimated town over there?
Well, there could be survivors.
Okay, and then what do we do with them?
I mean, I could try to turn into a bird or something to, like, swoop overhead, take a look.
Yeah, do that.
And she's gonna stand and, like, close her eyes and kind of, like, think, like, bird. And she's going to wild shape into a raven.
You try to wild shape into a raven, but this being a new power, you end up wild shaping into a flamingo.
No! I've never seen a flamingo before. And it has to be a creature I've seen.
Fine, you wild shape into a chicken, so you can fly, but kind of shitty.
but kind of shitty.
To those of you looking, you see this dark green chicken, and instead of feathers, they're just really long scales with like plumage under the outer layer.
That looks like another one of my babies almost.
She begins to like struggle and fly and like kind of like she'll like drop for a bit and then like catch herself as she just goes like and is gonna go like fly over the town.
Yeah, Viper, give me an investigation check to see what you gather.
Okay.
To assist in the flight, Jessica will use the cantrip Prestidigitation to make a gust of wind to help raise you further into the air as you try to
You
fly.
hear it, but
incredible.
In thanks, and that is a 16.
Perfect. You fly high above the town and you kind of survey everything. And it does not take much time before you realize that there is not but ash here. Perhaps if you spent a few hours pilfering through the rubble, you might find a knickknack or two, but anything or anyone immediately worth taking or talking to has been reduced to nothing. However, with your roll, you do notice that there are trails through the soot. It seems perhaps some people did make it out of town before it burnt to a crisp.
Do the trails seem to be leading like towards Mount Heartland or like in another direction?
Generally north, but northwest, and you guys are kind of heading more northeast. But it seems they did escape.
Okay. She's going to then struggle to like fly back with Jessica's help, just like and then she's going to like land on the sled and then bob her chicken head and then become Viper again and be like, all right, that's fucking weird. Okay, so there's no one alive left, but I saw a trail that suggests that people did make it out, but stopping would be pointless unless we were just going to try to pilter through ash for about an hour to try to find things. There's no living people left.
And Jessica, you having assisted Viper, as Viper flies back in with your prestidigitation, you are looking out at the town, and you do notice one other thing as Viper flaps out of the remnants of the town.
Oh no.
Something that had been overlooked. There is a flag planted atop a building, being battered in the icy wind. The flag is a nice royal purple, and it bears some design, some insignia on it. There is a white, pointed shape, something like a crown, and beneath that is some cursive script. No, a signature. It is Jessica Feltcher's signature beneath a crown of bone.
What?
This has been Your Honor. Your Honor features the vocal talents of Nicholas Benetatos as Gary Mogbile, Amanda Fernandez-Acosta as Barbara, Nicholas Palazzo as Thomas Phelps, Michael Pisani as Jessica Feltcher, and Hannah Schooner as Viper. The rest of the world is voiced by your DM, Giancarlo Herrera, with editing by Hannah Schooner and Giancarlo Herrera, and sound design by Giancarlo Herrera. If you'd like to support the show, consider checking out the links in the show notes, or go to patreon.com/Drimbus, where you can get access to hours of bonus content, exclusive merch, the chance to play with the crew, or submit items to the show, or have NPCs named after you. Oh, and don't forget to leave a review or make a post using #Drimbus to be entered for the chance to win a free Dungeons & Drimbus sticker. Thank you all so much for listening, and I do declare we'll see you all next week.